They tried their hardest to make you guess on who the killer could be, even though, Matthew and her boyfriend, I think it was Anthony. I don't remember his name, it really wasn't that important. Stu and Anthony were pretty obvious they were the killers. Especially Stu. Because as soon as Casey and I think it was Steve who was murdered, as soon as they were killed, he talked about how he would kill someone, like how you just stab someone from the groin and go up to their sternum. You're telling me that's not suspicious? Or anything? And then in the scene store, in the scene in the store with Randy, where he just holds Randy, well, Anthony just says some creepy shit to him. You know what? I'm gonna look what his name is real quick. Yeah, Dewey, Sidney Prescott, Gail Weathers, Stu Matcher, Billy. His name was Billy. I don't know why I thought it was Anthony. Speaking of, now since I looked at the cast, Tatum, that shit was bullshit. She fought back pretty well, kicked him in the groin, threw 2 beer bottles at him. There was another one on the floor she could have used, but she didn't use it. Anyway, I think it was really stupid. She should have tried to knock him out before she ran. And she tried to open the garage door, not 1, but 2 times. It didn't work. It fucked up both times. And then Ghostface tries once, and then boom. I also really want to know if, Stu's so fucked up, but he had Tatum planned to be killed. It doesn't really make sense. We never really get a motive from him besides when he's bleeding to death. He says that it was peer pressure, but it was probably just a lie, because he already seemed creepy enough to be a cold-blooded killer, because he nailed it. So there's one thing I want to talk about, because I know I'm gonna fucking forget it. The ending of the movie, they do some stupid ass shit. They try and scare you with this jump scare. It was the lamest shit ever. And then in the movie, they have a little flash of lightning, and you see Ghostface's mask, and then it ends and says directed by Wes Craven. That is the poorest shit I've ever seen at a jump scare. Another thing that I didn't really like the most, they call out a lot of cliches during this movie. They do a lot of cool references to movies. They even reference the original Spit on Your Grave. Anyway, back to the point. At one point during the phone call, she obviously thinks it's Randy. And she says, you know what I would do? Most people in the movies are stupid, and they run up the stairs, and so instead of running out the front door. And then she does that exact same thing. And this movie kind of works perfectly since it's 2 people working together, Billy and Stu. So obviously, Billy had his little motive, though I don't know why he wanted to be arrested and have that on his record. People aren't gonna care that you were cleared. You still went to jail for a little bit in a holding cell. Anyway, so it was obviously Stu dressed up in the mask that was gonna kill her for some reason. And then Billy came in. He was just trying to convince her in some shit. It was a good movie overall, though. But sequel probably won't be the best, because movies like this don't really need a sequel. But, like Matthew Lillard said in this movie, you always gotta have a sequel. Now, there's like 4 different movies, but I'm only able to watch 3, because there's only 3 on HBO Max. So, you'll get 3 reviews, and then there's the new one that's coming out that I might see in theaters, might not. I'm deciding or not, since I'm not going to see the 4th one. If they're loosely connected, then maybe I'll go see it. Though I've seen movies before without seeing the first one or knowing anything about it. like the reboot Jumanji movie. I saw the second one before I saw the first one. Anyway, it was a decent movie, but people were really blind in this movie with Tatum. How did nobody fucking see her hanging out of the garage? It also doesn't make sense why he doesn't hide Tatum's body, he doesn't hide Dewey's, and he decides to hide Kenny on top of the van. What's the point of hiding Kenny but nobody else? And like I already said, Tatum, because there was like 10 no names there. There was a few sorta characters there. Dewey was there. The reporter was there. And you're telling me that nobody leaving the house saw them? And also, since, they try and say that this whole movie that Billy is the killer, right? What was his really motive for killing the principal? Because I always say this stupid shit about the principal. They were gonna kill everybody and kill her because obviously there was a bunch of witnesses there. And then there were gonna be only 2 left with injuries. But why would he kill the principal? What was it with Casey and Steve? Maybe it was Stu that killed those 3. And they already said during the movie that you can buy those Halloween costumes everywhere. I wish they would have explained stuff a little bit more, besides him just saying this half-assed revenge plan about his mom sleeping with his dad, and then that drove his mom away. Drove his mom away from his dad cheating. His dad cheating. But, yeah, half-assed. That shit was stupid. And that's the whole reason he decided to kill a bunch of random teens and save her for last. Plus the principal that he might have not killed. Because there was someone dressed up in a Ghostface costume. But, yeah, that's about it for this movie. It was decent. Though, probably the best part about this movie was like the first 8 minutes. It really had me hooked, but after that, it was just okay. And once we got to Matthew Lillard, his scene was pretty cool. Because he's just such a great actor. He was really great at being crazy. I don't think there's been any other movies with him crazy. I've heard of 13 Ghosts from James A. Janisse. And I watched that Kill Count, so I might watch that movie eventually. But he didn't really seem crazy in that movie. And, he obviously plays Shaggy in the live-action movies, and he was really good in this movie. He was in that one movie that I can't remember the name of right now. He's such a good actor. And I think it would probably be cool if, he survived and we got to see him in the sequel. See a bit more of his crazy side, but he got electrocuted to death.